great as mine. When my parents' marriage started circling the drain, my mother said to me one day, "Married people shouldn't live together. They should live next door, in separate houses." I like to think our marriage turned out better, but to be fair, I ought to build another tree house, one that's just for you to use, when one tree hasn't room enough for two, and when you would like to get away from me and everything that looks like home to you. I could get to work on it today. There's a willow tree across the yard. I hope that will be far enough away. The cure. Stalin cured him of communism. The war and the death camps cured him of both faith and pacifism. My mother tried to cure him of everything else. She nearly succeeded. He had become good enough for anyone but her by the time he ran off with her best friend. So he had more time to give to his second family than he'd ever been able to give to us. The second wife and her 3 sons were civil at the funeral, and after that wanted nothing more to do with me. But before they locked the door behind me, they told me that when he was in the hospital, when the cancer that the doctors couldn't kill was killing him, when his hand, now bare of a lifetime's calluses, groped through drug fog, looking for the call button up and down the bed rail, across his pillow and around his head, because he'd no idea which way was up. When they told him I'd be coming across the continent to see him one last time, he cried. I'm going to end with this one. In 1954, Georges Michel wrote a book called De Renoir à Picasso, and in that quoted Pablo Picasso as saying, "Disciples be damned. It's not interesting. It's only the masters that matter." This poem is called Her Husband Considers the Words of Picasso. The candlelight's too dim for me to read your papers scattered on the kitchen table. But even in full daylight, I would not be able to understand the things that you know more about than anyone else alive. All of it will die the day you die. You have no disciples. But now that you are talking of your work, I won't interrupt you just to tell you that without you, life would be a language without metaphor. And I won't interrupt you just to say that I can't stop myself from thinking about the fire that still burns behind your eyes, about your hands, your hair, your lips, your breasts, and about this candle going out. Thank you, everybody.
Very good, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a break right now, about 10 minutes, so the books are there and he is there. And please talk with your neighbors. Of course, if you want to get these little things that are updating the URL there, and then there's 2 Buddhist tracks here for us to work here. We shall be back in less than 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes. Well done, John.
I was wondering why that was there.
Well done, well done.
You know what? I'm not going to leave it here, though. I'm going to put it back up there because otherwise it'll
I've
just.
kind of got in the habit of kissing the microphone so I don't get too far
Oh,
away.
we're fine.
You gonna come over here and say hello?
Are we about home then? I'd like to leave then.
All right, I can go up to the car and look around there. Yeah, that would be.
Well, you know,
Okay, good.
you know, I've been
Thank you guys for coming.
I'm nervous about it.
Say my name so much right here. Well, thank you.
I came to be with one Jim. But I kept.
Oh, yeah, that's August first.
Good passage in Queen material.
We have this.
And that's it. One of the three things.
You would be gone by then. I will be gone. Get stuff.
City lights.
Well, let me know. Let me know if you want to go out.
In the light there.
I would do the good passage.
I will be
August 1st. Saturday afternoon.
It'll be
It's a Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay, okay. You
Right.
Jimmy Van
I know, that's wrong, but my email's Jimmy Gulak.
No, really, some of this happened there.
It could happen someday, nobody knows.
Well, I just
Yeah.
No, it's a good passage.
I know, but it was kind of their decision where to put me. If I'd had a choice. But this'll do.
Oh, yeah.
Where can it go?
I got Jimmy.
I just want to see you guys.
We can't too confusing there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying goodbye to my dear friend.
Yes, for the streets. Yeah, I love that guy.
She doesn't agree with what you say.
This will probably be in early next year. Well,
Next year.
yeah, we're waiting to find.
Women hate to walk
Got a lot of people.
exits.
Oh, I don't know. She does.
I never got used to it, but I'm telling you.
We took rooms, we had two features. That's something like that. If you got a real road.
This time would run out.
On the single feature, you have 20 for sure.
But more than some.
For some reason, Portugal was a long way from this. If it didn't, that
Was that when Brennan was there? Did you
Have to
fit
leave
that
them
in?
wanting more, you did.
I don't know.
Have to leave them wanting more.
No, is that?
Yeah, I read a couple there when Brennan was there.
I don't get to that.
Oh,
I know. That's just like yours.
I only recently learned that he was also a geometer and mathematician. I didn't know about that before. He was trying to figure out the parallel paths to
Okay, well, he was taking care
and
of.
I don't know a single word of first grade. Not one word. And your English is so good, I guess that's good.
I'll let you know if we figure it out. He figured out how to do it, it's just doing it.
So, do you have a regular schedule, or you just change whenever you feel you do?
I go whenever I can.
You couldn't go yesterday?
Yeah, Byron's smart.
It's one of those.
I had that several ones and I was, I got pneumonia 3 times in my life. That's part of the reason I quit smoking, that's why that was. I know, it's like blowing my mind. It was such a shock. Sweaty thing. Hey,
Side model.
Hope
Hope fan? Paper fan, yeah. And it's got him, a picture of him. And it was because of oh, you wrote for something else.
Some party.
So,
So you're gonna steal it?
I
like it, then I'll guess I'll. Aside from that,
right, and we were I forgot to bring all my.
yeah, so I'm asking you,
this name.
it's connected or not actually by okay. I know. Oh, I thought you were talking about this. So we suddenly have December open.
Yeah, it was great, man. That's the best way to do it.
It should be okay. December.
Okay. I guess the next.
Okay, we look alike.
Yeah, oh, yeah, listen.
That's not.
Hey, by the way,
that's not a good thing.
I got Trudeau's album. CD is amazing.
I don't know, it's just the only one I ever saw. I never heard of the guy until about 3 or 4 years ago. I was blown away.
Here's some Buddhist thought.
Oh, no, yeah, but I mean, I've probably known about it
Someone
since.
send it to me.
But I just got it from a woman who did all the Indians that are
Others are like
somewhere.
Yeah, he needs to make us through that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
That's what I say, man. I mean, you know.
A warning board, and I know there's a pair that nests.
For me, he's only one of the
3 years running the
I'm
same
gonna
place.
write something.
It's got a dark bush, there's like 3 of them, Kentucky morning.
Everybody's brother.
Oh, you're ready to go for the mini pieces, right? You're gonna be the closer.
Gray, dark black hair, one of them. No, I read one has a head. Should we make that together?
I'll chime in.
What's the nice one?
You can even do, however you do
I've
it.
got one for years. It's so easy to do with another one.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, he's
That
impossible.
was like 10 years previous. I lived all by myself. Also found
Oh, no,
Lucy's Walk. Little gray, no yellow, gray and white. Like a pond.
And we want to combine things, you know.
Which one is gonna be naked?
Neither one.
He's got the blood now, actually, the blood dressed up.
How are you?
Flower pot.
I'm not naked.
Naked soul.
Just ask him.
Naked
I have
lunch.
excellent binoculars.
I have that book.
Those birds are, I know what you
Give me your email and
and
I'll settle that.
Okay. Last week in June. You're clear out of the corner.
I'm trying to go with the page because I want to read.
You do exasperation very well.
That's where you are, what the bird is, where they're going, you know. You get all on every time you talk, I'm grab it, we just think about the, how the birds.
No, I'm trying to think.
Back south.
Oh, Marty, I could have been
Not all at
something.
once.
And all I got is a one-way ticket to Palooza.
You know, I really actually side shop and chopper, but I
Yeah, but it's like,
shop and chopper, but I do shoot back on.
not a linear pattern, but necessarily, but wider pattern.
It goes on like that.
Yeah, I've always said, you know, they own the money field.
Yeah, there's a raffle, a tomahawk run, it's all in there.
Oh, you wanted me to get it? Yes, I need to start here.
Bad man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Actually, we're almost back. This is my front, to tell you the truth, not my back. My back.
Looks like this.
Nice.
Thank you so much. We have a few people. Let me read who is coming up.
Can you read the names of who is coming in?
Oh, yeah.
Can you read it, Jimmy?
No.
Jimmy?
Yes.
Jimmy?
Cinderella.
Bennett, Bonanna, Ben?
D-E-R-P-L-L.
Jimmy, if it's a problem, just write me, I got it.
I'm easy on this.
You're easy. So we have 4 poets before our for our mini feature, Mr. Owen Dunkel. We have Sean, then Alice, then it looks like Nico. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Nico, great. And then Bruce, who came in. So we have Sean, Alan, Nico, Bruce, then Owen, who will close us out with the mini feature. And so will Sean kindly come up to the mic, please.
And this is your first time here, right?
This is.
All right, first time here, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna shake this.
Young people don't need mics.
Okay. No, you don't have to, that's another thing I should have said that at the beginning. You don't have to use the mic if you don't want to. Whatever you want. All right, go ahead.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Sean, and I am an addict. For 28 years, I've kept the depths of my secret suffering buried like Harry's treasure. Each morning, it hits my brain like a grain train. My body riots free in anxiety. My withdrawal withdraws me from society. One last hit, just one last hit, I swear, of the ecstasy to quell the agony. I give food, I give drink, I give my own firstborn child for a wretched 5 minutes more. I stand here with painful shame and pain to admit that I am addicted to a drug called sleep. My addiction manifests in many multitudes of magnitude unbound, a laundry list of lethargy. The morning snooze, the midday siesta, the postprandial slumbering, lumbering, drunken bumblery, midnight cat naps and snap night cats and every other fetid form found in the dark dry eyes of the sleep addict's mind. In fact, if I could have, I likely would have tried the Rip Van Winkle 30-year sleep.
Afternoon nap.
I come clean now in the hopes that people will glean a shimmer of strength from my pain to wake our own willfully shut eyes to the dark skies that now loom above. We have the tools, we have the knowledge, we have the experience. But first, we must acknowledge the problem and marshal the resources of our great land to address this growing sleep menace. Still burning from the fires of mine own addiction, I come to you now, America, with a plan for our collective salvation. A 12-step plan, that is. Step 1. We cannot stop this addiction until we change our very diction, until we drop the language of Nancy's and pansies of nuance and move on from our self-centered semantics toward a reword, the language of war. Because that's what this is. Because do what we must. We're in that deep. This is a motherfucking war on sleep. And when has declaring a war on an inanimate object ever not solved a problem? Step 2. Go after the supply, the sly guys selling highs to keep sleep alive in the sleep addict's mind. Sealy mattresses, we're taking you to the fucking mattresses. Step 3. Embrace a power greater than ourselves. The power of prison. We must, like Abe, Cain, and Abel, be able to give what it takes to make a clean break, because it's not till we've got millions in prison will go into remission from this disastrous malignancy that is sleep. Step 4, target the worst offenders with the worst punishments. Because we know it's the dare elite to sleep on the street that most spread this infection of addiction, not those nice clothes, good neighborhood, nice families. No, give those worst offenders the worst punishments. Let's say 18 times the prison sentence for 18 times the damage done to society. Step 5, take an already marginalized group of the population, round up the adult males, pick out the worst cohort, and quarantine the fiends in prison. Step 6, take the rest of adult males from said group and throw them in prison too, because frankly, we know they're using and abusing this awful drug, those thugs, we just haven't caught them yet. Step 7, target their terrible teens, because gangrene feeds on leniency, and sometimes you have to cut off the limb to save the patient. Steps 8, 9, 10, and 11, stack the police, stack the courts, stack the laws, stack the politics, to make it impossible for anyone of dubious character to escape our pincer movement. We will smother it into submission. Step 12, start looking abroad to go after the scourge and the nest where it rests, gestating, just waiting to strike our pure suburban children. This is not a time for complacency. This is a time to turn the tide, a time to wipe clean the Sandman's smug mug, a time to pull out the rugs from underneath those blurry-eyed thugs, a time to win this motherfucking war on sleep.
Sleep will never be the same. Thank you. Alan! All right. Alan Harris. Yes, you may put that there. May I put this here?
I'm not this short.
Oh. Oh, was that a mistake? Here,
Unless you could talk through your name.
I can help you with that. He's professional, though. Don't do this without him. I'll get back to him on that.
I apologize in advance.
That won't cut it.
Oh, that's a.
You know, Costello, it seems to me that they give these ball players nowadays very peculiar names. You mean funny names, Abbott? Yeah, now let's see. We have on the bags, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third. That's what I want to find out. I say, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third. Are you the manager? Yes. You gonna be the coach too? Yes. And you want it, and you don't know the fella's names? Well, I should. Well, then who's on first? Yes. I mean the fella's name. Who? The guy on first. Who? The first baseman. Who? Who is on first? I'm asking you who's on first. That's the man's name. That's whose name? Yes. Well, go ahead and tell me. That's it. That's who. Yes. Look, you got a first baseman? Certainly. Who's playing first? That's right. When you pay off the first baseman every month, who gets the money? Every dollar of it. All I'm trying to find out is the fella's name on first base. Who? Who gets the money? He does. Every dollar of it. Sometimes his wife comes down and collects it. Whose wife? Yes. What's wrong with that? Look, all I want to know is, when you sign up the first baseman, how does he sign his name? Who? The guy. Who? How does he sign? That's how he signs. Who? Yes. All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name on first base. No, what is on second base? I'm not asking you who's on second, who's on first, one base at a time! Well, don't change the players around. I'm not changing nothing! I'm only asking you, who's the guy on first base? That's right. Okay! All right. What's the guy's name on first base? No, what is on second? I'm not asking you who's on second, who's on first. I don't know. He's on third. We're not talking about him. Now, how did I get on third base? Why, you mentioned his name. If I mentioned the third baseman's name, who did I say is playing third? No, who's playing first? Look, you got an outfield? Sure. The left fielder's name? Why? I just thought I'd ask you. Well, I just thought I'd tell you. Then tell me who's playing left field. Who's playing first? Stay out of the infield! I want to know what's the guy's name on left field! No. What is on second? I'm not asking you who's on second. Who's on first? I don't know. Third base! Third base! The left fielder's name. Why? Because. Okay, he's center field. Look, you got a pitcher in this team? Sure. The pitcher's name? Tomorrow. You don't want to tell me today? I'm telling you now. Then go ahead. Tomorrow. What time? What time what? What time tomorrow are you going to tell me who's pitching? Now listen, who is not pitching? I'll break your arm if you say who's on first. I want to know what's the pitcher's name. What's on second? I don't know. Third base! Third base! Got a catcher? Certainly. The catcher's name? Today. Today and tomorrow's pitching. Now you've got it. You know, I'm a catcher too. I get behind the plate to do some fancy catching. Tomorrow's pitching on my team, and a heavy hitter gets up. Now, the heavy hitter bunts the ball. When he bunts the ball, me, being a good catcher, I'm going to throw the guy out at first. So I pick up the ball and throw it to who? Now that's the first thing you've said, right? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Look, if I throw the ball to first base, somebody's got to get it. Now, who has it? Naturally. Who? Naturally. Naturally? Naturally. So I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally. No, you don't throw the ball to naturally. You throw the ball to who? Naturally. I throw the ball to naturally. I throw it to who? Naturally. That's it. That's what I said. You asked me. I throw the ball to who? Naturally. Now, you ask me. You throw the ball to who? Naturally. That's it. I throw the ball to who? Who drops the ball, and the guy runs to second. Who picks up the ball and throws it to what? What throws it to I don't know. I don't know. Throws it back to tomorrow. Triple play. Another guy gets up and hits a long fly ball to because. Why? I don't know. He's on third, and I don't give a fuck. What did you just say? I said I don't give a fuck. Oh, he's our shortstop. Thank you.
Now that was the Abbott and Costello thing, right?
No, I wrote that.
Very.
I am the witness to the filling up of an empty space by an air bubble wielding casualty whose desire to simply be seen is ignored by the spiritually atonal, self-appointed surrogates of the founding fathers who are engaged in a tube-induced competition to see which one of them can claim to love Jesus the most while acting the least like him. Their increasingly shrill cries of earthly exceptionalism and promises to invade the sun on day one have the pro-oblivion hordes nodding in agreement, chuckling at the punchlines of the damned, and thanking God every day for the existence of charlatans whose favorite adjective is apocalyptic, and whose idea of a perfect world includes cops who work on commission, fossil fuels which, when burned, make the air smell like cookies, and the kind of patriotism best expressed through the drunken obliteration of a squirrel with an assault rifle while wearing a bikini. A world of compressed objection and selective rationality in which, if your name happens to be Mr. Pre-Existing Condition, then you are fucked. And when the purges come, fueled by false equivalency, institutionalized cannibalism, and shell-shocked optimism, you will be left with nothing but the knowledge that corporations are sociopaths, and that with a frontal lobe comes responsibility, and that just because you're paranoid, that doesn't mean that people aren't voting for Republicans.
Thank you, Alan. As always, a patient, quiet, and subdued presentation. All right, Nico, then Bruce, then Owen, our mini feature. Nico, come on out.
Feature?
Huh? This is your first time, right? Yeah. Give him a round. Be him all first time. We do that. We apologize in advance. Or we didn't apologize.
What's up, everybody? I think it's better when you just do less talking before you perform. This is a song from my album Resonating Cycles called Like Mother, Like Son. Word to the dirt, underneath the surface of his fingernails. Hard work till the heart hurts, drowned by the fifth. Yeah, fuck stressing, man, cause thinking kills. But all he thinks is bills. To all he's thinking about is fear and how it feels when you're scared of how you feel. This life, yeah, it's real. Hard anxiety, it's steel. Hard to believe paranoid polar bears couldn't even feel his chills. The texture of hope. Mama, don't slip back on them pills. Damn. He fell off hard, he couldn't catch her. But if she died, man, he'd probably blame himself. A concept his head really can't handle. How do you help what don't want to change itself? Can I run an outcome that's inevitable? Tease your tongue before you swallow the inedible. Coughing up blood, every spirit in your lungs from those stogies. Roll these good old American pedestals. You always go back to your roots at least a few times before you leave them for good and shit. If that statement holds any truth, well damn it, I ain't living as good as I should. Self-abusive constraint, lock your dreams in the cage. Then blame your childhood just to reason your ways. Then pop another perk just to bury the blame, while ignoring every perk that deems you the same, exact same shit. You hated growing up is a little thing you cried about, and everything you rhyme about, but even a manly man needs to complain. That macho persona only means deep with the stains. Yeah, just another hypocrite seeping in shame, watching all his morals die as they sink in the drain. No stopping his integrity from sinking in vain. Always said he'd never be the same. Funny how things change. Word to the burns underneath the surface of her soul. Hurt that finally took its toll. Resonating madness every time her past flashes never found a way out. But that's how the cycle goes. Never learn when to stop. They started from your setbacks, forced to grow up, and you never get that kid back. Mom wasn't mom, peel back where that infested. I need to feel her pain. They'll never fucking get that, yeah. Take me way back so far. There's no way back to the cut before it's scarred. You show me where them stains at. What made you who you are? Nobody ever explained that. Caught between cope and content that I can't ever change, that I tossed till I turn over everything that I came back. Every step from the cycle told myself that I could break that. Cause an echo through the aisle is loud but can't fade back. But logic only works in the brain of a sane mess. Here we are, cornered in the corner of my room, needing answers that can only be assumed. Mr. Teacher told me back in class that an educated guess was the closest way to finding out the truth. Guess I'll put that shit to use, but wait a second, just a thought before I do. Ain't it crazy all the ways that our brain gets its food? Mister never paid attention in this class. 2 years later writing raps, that's the most important shit he got from school. Hypothesized as far as I could get. It was time to put my empathy to test. Could I forgive without forgetting? You were given any chances for a girl just to be a fucking kid. Never had a dad, but that man, he was sick. Took advantage of a child. I felt your soul when it ripped. So pathetic inside, he stole life from being lived. While the bitch you gave your life washed and didn't do shit. Not a fucking thing. Not a thing in this world could ever change the way that it swirls. We've all tried to fight it and pretend that we don't like it, but when more said than done, it's right back to the girl, right back to those pieces of our past we just can't seem to get past. Reliving pain just excites my nerves. Always told ourselves one thing we never be was be the same. Everything we hit, funny how things changed.
Amen. Thank you, Nico. All right.
I'll never be like my father.
Thank Paul. So we have Bruce Hanson coming up now, then Owen Hanson, closer. Bruce, come on up, and then, like I say, Owen will close with the mini feature, and then we'll take care of these fine, fabulous prizes designed, like I like to say, with your mind.
Well, I have 2 things I'd like to do. One poetry, one a short story, 200 words. It's a memorial for a really fantastic woman, but I don't know if she's dead or not. All I know is I've been obsessing on her, and you'll see why. Here's to you and Jerry Garcia. I was sending, she said. Truly, this happened, though not in the 1960s. A meteor shower of sparks exploded in my brain that became Elise's Buddha-like smiling face. This was no lab experiment, just Elise sending her love. Oh yes, from 3,000 miles away. I began writing him a letter, I said, but then I stopped. I didn't know where to send it, Elle. I wish you had kept it, she said. I was tripping on acid. Later, I saw Elle digging through a trash bin at a metro station. She looked junky thin, raw, edgy, intent on a fix, and hungry. She retained her good looks and her brains, I hoped. Elle remained a tall, blonde dancer, all I'd ever wanted, and more. She loved Allen Ginsberg. Met him once in person. I wrote poetry. Elle loved me. She thought I might hit it big. Oh well. Later, I saw her hooking. Still later, wigged down on a bus after Elle lost her housing due to a fire, it must be said. A tragedy, not her fault. Elle, where are you? Send me a message, whether tripping or not, in or to any medium. What a strange trip it's been. Here's to you and Jerry Garcia. I hope to God she'd be 61. I hope she didn't die from drug addiction. I truly hope she somehow beat her habit and she was going to walk right through the door and put on a killer performance. But I fear that's not the outcome. Okay, a happy poem, kind of. Little brief piece, how we go through these terrible experiences in childhood, but then all of a sudden you see the comedy in it. I didn't invent this family of mine, so here it is. Yet, we do become poets. B.F. Skinner for kids. 1 nickel of your allowance buys a half hour of TV. Rat psychology. I hate my father, but I pay to watch the Untouchables' tales of machine gun toting mobsters taking on authority as I wish I could in our all-white suburb where nothing ever happens to good boys like me until that Halloween when a laughing teenage thug stole my candy. Except for a few lone sour balls. My mother said, sometimes you gotta knuckle under. Uh-huh. I never knuckle under. My grandmother said, boys, as I burnt in hell. Why would I ever go to hell? Why didn't she like me? Granny smelled. I hated her. She looked so sad. I don't know how long she worked in a Newark slaughterhouse. I heard how her male co-workers gave her a present of a bull's cock and balls. I could hear them laughing as she blushed with shame, a widow with 6 kids. She died in 1951. I got her red-lettered Holy Bible. I didn't want it. The 50s, post-war prosperity seems like a dream. The good life we lived in. In the summertime, lightning bugs lit up the night. Winters, I rode my sled. I loved to explore the woods by our home until all the trees got cut down. Childhood ended. The Vietnam War began. I broke with everyone in the family. They didn't understand. Kids got toppled like trees, cut down for nothing. My mother washed out my mouth with soap I hated it. Yet, we do become poets.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. All right, our mini feature for the evening is Owen Duncan will come up and read for 8 minutes. And he goes to all the open mics, so he's pretty well known. Give a nice round of applause for Mr. Owen Duncan. And we'll take care of our prizes and assign blame as need be.
Okay, I'll read from my chapbook. Tight sang out cry. Rock's awakening. Little men out to sea, fishing invisible, their tongues at quiet, pacing the determined hours upon the quiet soft sand. The obsequious waves still lull me to heaven. Milieu passamentarius, sold in the dew of the woods of manna, manna, manna. Cry windward the sperm's rock soil of true self to endeavor selfhood, survival of the fittest lying quietly on the sand. Kelp rocks barter no more, their abalone fervor to please, the rich pasies and posies of tight sang outcry. Sonnet 2. The way I should have taken a way unwise I took today, in a profound sort of way, in a funny way, the heart forsaken, and feelings quieted by the unshaken, quiet, firm fruit. Chances we may see through the air. We say we are breathing lust. Awaken the raw tooth, the raw root of the penetration of 20 valises. Laden with eons of our raw root, we eschew the strength of heavy sneezes. We swarm through the air like bees and flies, our hungry hearts open to truth and lies. Owls slack. Harumphs harking, hacking, wheezing out to all this calm sweetness. Penance pecking, forbearance of the next shark's dandelion. Comes that may mean nothing, Phoebus, nothing but that bringeth the brazen coitus of the meadowlark and vine. A new education. To walk in worlds, we walk in wonder like the barefoot, benighted, wide-eyed wanderer of Pilgrim's Progress, caught in the net that catches fishes in the ocean. Much like an electric train at sea, signs pinions and pennants, lords and ladies of that chance the day of fire and delight. Men become seraphim, women fast and pray for the denarii to fly them to heaven. Mind soars Oz. Let the raven's lust be young, cows mourn their incautiable loss, seas gaze to lichen moss, snakes stay forever in tune, try among rocks, weeds, adobe, trails in time. We say our prayers, we toss like old coins to Baudelaire's cross. He stood for crucifix, rung like bells rung outward to heaven. No more the burden we on earth bore ourselves and leeward skim the soil. The awful toil we see, touch, think, feel, let go for the instant, complete satori, then ignore. Little order. Lust in the shelves of orient wind. Turn on the sand and the fey plumage of the waves, to toss again to the swooning barrenness of the sand and kelp I talk to in time, and surrender of my kiss of need to lay the wondrous domain of the dark rain we run to, hope of the terror of the stars dashing back to the heavy swirling sand, the quiet sand, the sea we should dance and sing to in merry mock derision. Panis Angelicus, Panis Angelicus, we sing alive to thee. Begin anew. Awkward age permeates its spring. Joy beckons the brief of the toll of merrymakers and wine bibbers, chanting their little awareness to reeds and new knowledge of the barbarians. When in the cycle of new life began and born again to black clouds, recreate the moments of mercy and truth to all living, and still swimming wolfishly alone in our febrile and selfish reminiscence of the blue void. Sea witch turtle paints itself green and mauve, swims itself alone and aloof around sand dune castles built by old men, children, tourists, quiet as they gawk with their cameras and Beethoven, whose nobility read Jesus and Socrates in his wall of silence. The eerie half-light of his own penetration, Opus 133. Eroica, the sea magnifique, roars back and forth against the bright sand. Rhapsody. Talking on a hot, windy night, the calm sun starts to cry. The windy fears we all stroll by. The leaves take to the air a fright. The air has a sudden sadness might. Herds become men. Beats funny sigh. The cloak of evening, I will ask why does the afternoon pass the night? We are children of the good. The leaves see us fit, though are unchanging. There but in one mood, we can say we are too static as cosmic eternal sunshine. Some things we say tonight are thine. Oak Grove Park, the shady napping leaves of noon at my feet like a plush green Appian way. Dark green light grass and the sway of the vast expanse of the moon. JPL and Devil's Gate Dam, soon the tides of night, come what may, make all memories to say every spring in May, the sun of June, the grass turned brown, the matter it used to make, the thunder of the sky, the jet's dishes clatter. The day would not be half asunder. Our sliding doors shake lightly. We know the answers, we say so slightly. Day of life, the iron flute whinnies and tootles. Clouds of pink and orange, red, black, illicit silver soul flashes to the gates that block the earth that feeds the sea of horns and fishes. Cattails mope and teach the black sand. Cattails mope and teach the black sky, new brides of longing and deceit. We say so to further beds of lava and reeds blowing, imploring the wind to chasten its huge lungs in pious stride of death. Prometheus. Oh, I knew. Prometheus, suffer no more. Blow thy horn of the hours of the morn of riot and mirth. Odysseus, bend thy bow. Send thy shafts through the must and mire of light and cavity. Go, deepen thy soul of beauty, and send no more accurse thy province in grief and winds. Birds wind thy sky, tear no more his noble flesh and spirit. Okay. Autumn. Only the starlings wear our sun, half burnished secondly to a dead calm. We enjoy today the air's graceful balm we take to heaven. Joy be he done. We know kindness, bitterness, all run back to naught but our song, sung aloud to every benighted dawn, strolling fretfully along, alive to none but the spirit I speak of, live up to Thalia, our muse. We want to try to give back to heaven. We call a truce with the imagination. We try bright as the moon we talk to and cry. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right. The concluding portion of this evening's performance, the show as we call it, is handing out the door prizes. And this person is going to shuffle these
Door
cards.
prizes, you're leaving before the door prizes.
You could be a winner.
You could be a winner.
The odds are high.
We could be a winner.
You could be the mini feature next week.
The what? No, in that case.
Thank you for that.
You could be the keynote.
Yeah. Many things you can do. There we go. All right. A minor drum roll, please. All right. Is Bob here? Bob G?
Just stepped out for a cigarette.
Is he out there?
Who?
Whom? Bob G?
Bob?
He's smoking a
Yeah, he's out here.
Oh, okay. Just I thought he was here. When I organized the cards, he was here.
Alright, he said he's gonna come back in a sec.
Oh, okay. Well, then let me go to the other person, and then he'll have a chance.
going well at all.
Mr. Owen
Be good at
Dunkel.
first choice.
Mr. Owen Dunkel.
Yes.
You're a prize winner, my dear.
Oh.
Don't let me forget he was a winner. Any of these fine prizes are yours. 3 poetry magazines. What is that? That's the Wild Geography of Misplaced Things by David Rosenthal. Very good choice. And number David.
Yeah.
Mr. David Erdreich, come on up here. Show us what you're made of.
Keynote or mini feature? Which I'll do keynote. I want to do Carl Sandburg.
Okay, there you go. All right, so I'll put David Erdreich right here. So you're putting it in right now.
Keynote. And how long does that go?
Well, it's like you get your 5 minutes or a little bit.
5 minutes,
As long as
okay.
it's somebody else's poem that means something to you.
Yes, I got it.
All right.
I'll do
All right. Thank you so much. And now, another drum roll, please. Thank you. Oh, Richard Sander L.
Do you know that person? Oh. He mispronounced it. I didn't know myself.
Any of these fine prizes are yours.
I move like a 20-year-old, don't I?
Yeah. Poetry, and Barbaria. Or the mini.
It's 20 reviving ones. No,
Yeah.
that's not the one. Is it 20 reviving
That's Don Brennan's book. Which he wanted to revise, but was never able to do that.
Oh.
Oh, you won. You're a prize winner.
So this is you recommend this one?
I found it interesting. I liked it.
All right. I heard two people say it's
Right. All right.
I'll get to
So
it.
any of these fine prizes are yours.
Okay.
And if you want to come back next week and do the mini feature, you can do that. They're all, yeah. There you go. Thank you so much. And lucky Sean. See?
What do I win then?
Any of these 3 cards, or you can come back and you can come back and do the mini feature.
8 minutes. You could go for 8
minutes. Solid. Wow.
Suggestion in these?
Yes, those are the 3 prizes for today.
Which would you recommend?
Oh, I would recommend this.
Well, I'm not actually a red.
Take something else.
You're not coming
No,
back.
I'm gonna get this one.
All right, there we go. I just tried to just.
Yeah.
Excellent choice.
All right, Jim. Yes.
Yeah?
You have one.
What do I want?
Either one of these 2 fine pieces of literature designed like a, what? I hate saying designed with your mind, but I've said that so many times. It's silly. Well, it's not really silly. It's semi-silly. Now, if you wanted to come back next week, you could do the mini feature. That's you get 8 minutes at the end.
Yeah.
I know you're not here all the time.
Yeah. In the wilds of
Next
Canada.
week we're in Canada.
Oh. Well, then they'll hear you up there.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you want to do that? Oh, no, the card stays. I'll write your name in. Yeah, I'll write your name in. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And since you were the feature, there's a feature card in here. This is yours.
Thank you.
This is yours. There you go. Thank you so much. All right, now, just to let you know that next week.
Just to let you know that next week we have something a little special. It's an experiment that I do every once in a while. We will have 2 full features. Let me just move back here.
I mispronounced one of the person's names, so I got to make sure I don't do that. It's embarrassing.
Okay, so some people may know